Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's new episode of Breakfast with Boom. I am your host, Mr. BoomStick XL, and we have an incredible panel. We have an incredible lineup of topics, and we even got some breaking news. Apparently, I guess the dump storm known as Battlefield 2042 has rubbed the feathers the wrong way of EA, and big changes are coming. We're going to be talking about the free perks that have been confirmed for Halo Infinite. If you are a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, another incredible reason to subscribe to the service. And on the back end of the program, folks, we are going to be talking about how big does Microsoft need to go at the Game Awards. And thanks to Dreadpool, who just reminded me, I think, or is it Crispy that just reminded me, it's at the Microsoft Theater. So why not go big? But let's introduce our two special guests. And we're going to start first with Fuzzy Belvedere. He is here, there, and everywhere. And he always has a great opinion. And you know, obviously he keeps it 100 while he's here. Fuzzy, welcome back to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone joining us this morning. Chat is awesome. This panel is awesome. There's so much good stuff going on in gaming now. So let's get right into it.
You know what's funny, but Fuzzy, is that normally this time of year it's dead. There's
Yeah.
nothing going on. But you know what? There is a lot going on. One of which is Halo single player is releasing next week, and man, I can't wait. I think everyone can't wait. December 8th is going to be, I'm turning off the phone, the lights, the headphones going on, and I don't want to know anybody or anything. But listen, let's introduce our someone that has exploded on the scene. And I love having him on the panel. He's been here a couple of times. Mr. Joanna Dark, welcome back, brother. How you feeling?
Good. Hello, everyone. Boom. Thank you for always, reaching out and having me on the show. I always enjoy just kind of coming here and talking games and just hanging out with everyone. Amazing panel today. And like, again, I just want to get started. I'm excited to talk some games.
Yes. It's going to be a great conversation today. And of course, two returning members that really don't need an introduction, but they're going to get one nonetheless. The Dread one himself, the one that is always honest. You may not like his opinion, but he's going to give it to you anyway. Dreadpool, how the hell are you, man?
Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing? I'm doing great. I've actually been up for a while, so I'm kind of a little wired up, ready to rock and roll. I'm excited. We got a lot of stuff coming up, and like you said, there's a lot of news that's still popping, even though it's December. Usually it's we're winding down because we're waiting. We've already done all our shopping, and it's just like, all right, let's hurry up and get to these games so we can play them. And then next year will be another thing. But there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there absolutely is. But it's great to have you back, brother. And last and no way least, the best voice in the business, the man that I believe is going to be sitting and recording voiceovers in Gear 6. Remember, you heard it here first. Crispy Bomb, what's up, brother? How are you?
Oh, it's good to be back. It's been like 3 weeks, man. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, can't wait to get into the topics, and we got a lot to talk about, so let's do it.
Yes, we certainly do. Now, folks, listen, we're gonna start with what you see on the screen. Of course, we're gonna be talking some Titanfall, and the reason why I want to bring that up, it's my favorite franchise of last gen. The two biggest for me, the two biggest multiplayer IPs that launched last gen, that are my favorite of all of them, that have even outpaced some of my even bigger older franchises that I love, is Titanfall and Tom Clancy's The Division. But I want to talk about Titanfall because, folks, we just got new information that Titanfall 1 was being pulled from the store. So you can't buy it anymore. And this story comes to us from our good friends over at videogameschronicle.com, and they have confirmed that EA has pulled the original Titanfall from sale for good. But the developer, of course, which is Respawn, says that the incredible universe will continue. We're gonna back end that in a second. Now, this came to us this Wednesday, where the game is being removed from all subscription services, and I say all because obviously it's Xbox, and this is not happening though until March 22nd. And listen, the Titanfall 1, honestly, is probably my favorite multiplayer aspect of Titanfall. There's only been two. I love two for its multiplayer. I put a lot of time into that, but it was the single player that really brung you in. But this is what they had to say. I'm going to read the quotes directly from Respawn. And it says this: "We've made the decision, folks, to discontinue new sales of the original Titanfall game starting today. We will be removing the game from subscription services on March 1st, 2022. We will, however, be keeping the servers live for the dedicated fan base that's still playing and those who own the game and are looking to drop into a match. Rest assured, Titanfall is core to Respawn's DNA, and this incredible universe will continue. Today in Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends, and in the future, the studio added." Now, I want to read the entire quote, folks, regarding the Titanfall universe. And this is exactly what it has to say. It says updates, it says pilots. "Titanfall is a part of our DNA at Respawn. It's a game that showcased the ambitions of the studio when it was first released more than 7 years ago, and continues to be a beacon of innovation that we strive for in all of our games. We've made a decision to discontinue new sales of the original Titanfall game starting today, and will be removing the game from the subscription services on March 1st. We will, however, be keeping servers live for dedicated fans still playing the game and who own the game and are looking to drop into a match. Rest assured," and again, I'm reading it again, like I did a minute ago. "Rest assured, Titanfall is core to Respawn's DNA, and this incredible universe will continue today in Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends and in the future. The franchise is a North Star for the caliber of experiences we will continue to create here at Respawn. Thank you from the entire Respawn team." I want to go first to Fuzzy on this. Fuzzy, Titanfall is a franchise that came on the scene. Titanfall 1 sold more than 10 million copies in its lifetime, being an Xbox exclusive, which is that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering how many Xbox Ones there are out there. This was a big seller. This comes to us from Vince Zempella, who was one of the lead designers at Activision during the I guess golden years of Call of Duty, and then they had the big falling out. And obviously, he went and created Respawn. We got this now. Respawn is a part of EA. Titanfall 2 came out. That game is phenomenal. It is pennies. You could literally pick up that game for pennies, or if you're a Game Pass subscriber, it's in the EA vault. It makes I got to be honest with you. I've been gaming for a very long time. I can tell you that the single player campaign in Titanfall 2 is by far one of the freaking best stories in first person gaming. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
But that game, unfortunately, Fuzzy, was sent to its own death. It literally ate its own lunch because they launched it between Call of Duty and Battlefield. It's still, I don't understand who at marketing said that this was a good idea, but it was awful. But hearing that Titanfall 1 is gone, it's going to officially it's been officially removed from the store. You can't buy it anymore. And hearing that Respawn is, in fact, they didn't say they're making a Titanfall 3, but they said they're making a Titanfall 3. You understand what I'm saying? So, they didn't completely say that they're not, but they did, say that it's in their DNA, which tells me that we may not get it in 2022,
Right.
but we might get it in 2023 or even 2024. What are your thoughts on this? Where's your feelings on Titanfall?
Well, my feelings on Titanfall, the one thing that's going to suck right now, because I have it on disc, which my Series X is fine with, but my sons who play a good bit more than me have Series S's, so I'm going to have to pick up the digital copy as quick as I can, because if they're pulling it from stores,
yes.
I got to make sure that they have a way of being able to play it, since we only have the disc at this point in time. They've been playing it on like the EA Vault, basically, prior to that. But the multiplayer, although I'm not the biggest multiplayer guy, it was a good bit of fun. But I can understand with some of the issues that they were having with cheating on some of the servers, although I thought that was more so an issue where it was a bit on Apex, or I think they attacked Titanfall because Apex was having cheating issues or something along those lines. But it sucks that they're pulling it from stores. For anyone that hasn't picked it up, definitely pick it up. At least the digital copy, or if you have a Series X or OG Xbox, anything but the Series or the Xbox S digital edition, go ahead and pick it up on disc to at least have a copy of it.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2 was one that I enjoyed because I'm more of the campaign guy, so I played a good bit of that. Didn't play as much of the multiplayer, and I know that there were quite a few people that prefer Titanfall 1's multiplayer over Titanfall 2's. But I just like how they cannot confirm or deny that they're making a Titanfall 3 type of thing. But I would hope, considering how Titanfall 1 did, and then the only thing that really kind of hurt Titanfall 2, like you said, was its timing. You can't release Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 within weeks of each other around a Call of Duty, which is at that point in time one of the bigger titles. And I think Battlefield 1 definitely fought its way up that pathway because it was kind of a different take. People were looking for something a little bit different as far as like earlier World Wars or World War I type of time frame. But yeah, it kind of got buried. And I think I wound up picking it up as a combo deal with Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2, where it was like the deluxe editions for like the price of one game type of deal, because they kind of shot themselves in the foot. But man, it sucks. But like I said, since they're going to keep the servers up, anybody that hasn't picked it up, pick it up now. You know, before they jack up the prices like they do for back-to-back stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know that's coming. eBay Titanfall 1, unopened copy will be like $700 or something crazy. But man, I do hope they have like a Titanfall 3. So like, not that it's going to come out in March when they pull it from stores, but maybe they do some sort of unveiling, or I don't know, some sort of trailer or whatever. But there's been some more Titanfall rumblings and some more news with Zempella that we'll probably get further into. But
yeah,
man, I truly hope there's a 3 in the works. And like I said, pick up those disc copies or digital copies before they're pulled. That's all I got.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. Mr. Joanna Dog, let's get your opinion on this, brother. Titanfall, big. Listen, it's an incredible IP for a lot of reasons. It had 2 releases that did pretty well. Like I said, 2 didn't do as well as it should have, simply because EA kind of, they did that to themselves. But what are your thoughts on this? Them pulling it from the store. Is it that, is it a big deal that the game that's almost 8 years old is being pulled? And more importantly, what are your thoughts on them bringing back the franchise?
So I think I share the sentiment of everyone here. That's upsetting, that they're retiring, of course, Titanfall when it comes to other people getting to enjoy it. But I think that's normal with many games. A prime example is Forza Horizon 3, along with Forza Horizon 4 eventually, where it gets to a point with games, especially like these that are multiplayer, they sunset them. Is it disheartening? Sure, because we all want to continue to play those games that we enjoy. One of the things that I'm looking at this is, what if they're just trying to, say, put more back into Titanfall 2 and kind of make Titanfall 2 what it could have been, and take some of the elements that made the original one special? And maybe this whole thing, connecting it with Apex Legend and living in the same world, having these 2 titles kind of work off each other, in the sense of, what I mean is trying out new things and maybe implementing some new things into Titanfall 2 as they hopefully eventually lead us into Titanfall 3. Yeah, I definitely think that you should pick it up if you want to try it out and experience for yourself. I was a huge fan of it. As someone that doesn't play a lot of multiplayer, I thought it was great to just go in there and play with these giant mechs. Titanfall 2 had an amazing campaign. It reminded me of Zone of the Enders, if everyone played here, the game, when it kind of
fantastic. Yeah.
More of the second runner, with the way the characters kind of came off and everything. Yeah, I think that with the way Titanfall 2 kind of got, the short stick when it came to kind of in between COD and Battlefield 1, maybe this is the time to kind of get that treatment similar to what we saw with, Star Wars Battlefield, where they're going to really kind of just focus on what they have there and maybe be able to iterate more and kind of experiment to see what things they may want to give us, maybe a preview of what we might see in Titanfall 3.
Yeah, I mean that does make a lot of sense, for sure. My only concern is like if the second story that we're going to segue into is that Battlefield is being worked on in a bigger universe, which scares me a little bit because I don't want to see Battlefield become Titanfall and Titanfall become Battlefield. Please keep these things separate. Do not put your chocolate in my peanut butter. I don't like it. But Dreadpool, you're a big fan of multiplayer games. And this is, in my opinion, one of the biggest multiplayer titles from last gen, for sure. I think that if this would have been free to play out the gate, this would have been, because now we're seeing free to play it's a thing. So maybe that's what they're trying to incorporate the next Titanfall to be very similar to Apex Legends, which I think that, these companies, it's a business, right? They got to make money. And I think that they could sell Titan skins. They can sell different Titans, start with a core bunch. And I would imagine they would try and incorporate different Titans and stuff. But for you, where do you fall with Titanfall? Does it deserve a 3? Uh-oh, I think you're muted there, your Dreadpool.
Yeah. There it goes again. I was too excited. I jumped the gun and started talking, and nobody could hear. So let's go for the old school cats, right? Happy Days, right? It lasted 11 seasons, and they had many spinoffs, right? Joni Loves Chachi. That is what I equate Apex to Titanfall. Okay. Unfortunately, they shut down Titanfall too soon, right? They screwed them over with releasing 2 in the middle. That was strategic, right? That was strategic. You don't put them right in the middle of the 2 biggest FPS military shooters out there, right? You don't do that. They did it on purpose to get them on the cheap, bring them in. They knew what they had with 1. They saw what 2 was going to be, and they said, you know what? We're going to buy them, and we're going to keep them, and we're going to have them to do what we want with them. And that's what happened there. Okay. When it's still perplexing how good 1 is, right? Is it not? Because you'd think after all this time that everything would still progress and be better than the first one. And it happens to be that the second one wasn't as good. It had the campaign, which everybody loved, which everybody complained that the first one didn't have. But when it comes to the server side, I still have the same issue that I've said before. If you're going to take out a game and you're going to say, look, we're not going to support it anymore, we're going to delist it, we're going to do this and that, you know what? Why don't you alter the game so that way one of the people that still have the game, don't even delist it. Just let it sit there. So you make a few bucks here and there throughout the years. Not a big deal. It's not going to hurt you to let it sit there. It's not like it's sitting on your shelves, right? It's all digital. Here you go. You just put in a code, you got a game for $5. It's not like they were going to make that $5 at some point in time. Some people still have physical, right? And now they're moving to the digital age. Guess what? They can't, right? Didn't you point out? I forgot who was it? Fuzzy, right? You said you had the S's.
It's Fuzzy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
For my sons, I got the S's
for kids, right? So wouldn't it be great to still be like, hey, you know what? We want to go back and play this. Here's a digital version. We just paid an extra $5. Now you can't even do that, right? You just kind of got shafted. So just leave it up there. Take down the servers if that's the issue. If you have the issue of keeping the servers running, because it takes money to pay for those servers to keep them going, right?
Yep.
Take that server and give it back like we used to do in the old days on the Xbox, on the OG Xbox consoles, right? Take it and give it back to the consoles to become a server, right? You used to play, and Dreadpool server was the number 4 Rainbow Six server in the world. Okay, so there was a proud moment for me at those times. You know, being number 4, I could never hit that number 3 spot, but number 4, and I would have 2 accounts and do it like that. Okay, you don't have to do it like that, but give us the opportunity to be able to create the game and host the server as we're playing. You know, that way they don't have to worry about it. It's maintenance free. You don't have to worry about nothing. People still talk good about your game. You could still buy it and move on. You know, and at the same time, without saying that, you know, you're supporting something with 3, but they've always said that. They said that they have never left when they came out with Apex. They've never left it. They've never left 3. It's just, it's going to be sometime in the foreseeable future or unforeseeable future, right? So there's always a possibility, you know, and you always want that. You don't want them to say, hey, look, this is never coming back, because you're going to upset your fans. But if you give them that glimmer of hope, you know, if you say maybe, you know, oh, well, maybe that's not a no, you know, I have a chance.
Yeah.
So, you know, when it comes to all that, now, I'm going to have to disagree with Mr. Jonah Dark on this one. Forza Horizon, the reason why those were being delisted is a licensing thing.
Yeah, music.
When it comes to music and the cars, that is the biggest thing. That's the hardest part to keep the licensing for. That's why we lost Crazy Taxi 3. That's why Jet Set Radio. We're not going to get those back, because, you know, you have such iconic music that's in there. You know, and it's the Offspring. I mean, come on now. You have Offspring in the game. It's going to be hard to even get that back, you know. So, but with the first person shooter like this, it doesn't have it. Now, you know, you look at Doom with the metal tracks that they're putting in. Yeah, that could be a possibility. But when you do it right, if you don't license per se for that game for that time period, if they do it correctly for indefinite of the life of this game, and the life of this game will be as long as somebody can buy it and play it, that's it. That's your license. You know, and to me, if I had a band and I was doing that, I would want that. I would want my music to be indefinitely attached to that game, good or bad, you know, because they're going to be like, yeah, you know what, that game sucked, but this band, I was listening to, jamming out to the, you know, while playing to this band, this would be cool, you know. So how many times have we heard Post Malone gave Ozzy Osbourne the opportunity to become famous or to become something, right? And we all laugh at that. It's such a joke, but it was reality. People really did not realize who Ozzy Osbourne was amongst the TV, amongst the bands he's been in and fronted. It's like, huh. But you leave this stuff out there for people to still find. Titanfall, you know, well, there was a 1, but I never got a chance to play it. Well, there was a 2, yeah, but that one got delisted too. You know, how many generations is that going to be before that happens too, right? You know, we talk about Halo now, right? And Halo has a legacy of these 20 years, and people don't always remember that Halo originally was a RTS, and then it became an FPS. You know, okay, there's a lot of history there, but only a few of us know or even remember. You know, and having that game out there for people to be able to still buy, like I said, Fuzzy's kids, they want to play it. They got a disc. Okay, well, where can we play it? We got to get an X now. Can't play it on our S. You know, and now he's stuck because he got a console that technically, on the one side, would be no good to him because they can't play those games that they had. There was a lot of people that were looking at BC and have all these collections of discs, and they can't do nothing with.
Yeah.
But if you leave it in the store, they can go ahead and buy it for a good price. Yet again, it brings it back to, hey, look, we're still playing this game. It brings the name back. It brings the awareness back. For them to do that, it's kind of like cutting your nose off. Why would you do that? You know, just get rid of the server side, and it's all duty free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, they didn't really get into details as to why they did. The game is 8 years old. I don't know. I jumped into a game, maybe it was like last year or something, and I couldn't get a game to load because nobody was playing. So I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Someone had mentioned that in the chat, that maybe there's just not enough people to play the game, and if they sell the game, people are going to think that, hey, I can go play this new game I just bought, whether it be for $1 or $10 or $20, and there's nobody out there. It's interesting for sure, but
Switch to free to play, like everybody else has been saying.
Yeah.
And it could, and like I said, switch it off of the servers where you could play by yourself.
Yes.
You're good to go. I mean, we got the tech. They can go in there and it, not that it's easy. They can go in there and alter some of that.
Make it just bots. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a fantastic idea. Crispy, let's get your final opinion on this. And we're going to move into the second half of the EA drama that happens to be going on. As being a big multiplayer guy that you are, and you are one of the biggest, obviously, because you love Gears of War, where does Titanfall fall for you? Is this a game that deserves to continue its legacy, or do you think they've done all they can do with this franchise?
The first one I really didn't play a lot of. And maybe that's because, with first-person shooters, I really need a campaign to get me going.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I need something to, understand the controls well and stuff like that. Because it gets really frustrating. You just jump into a game and you get your butt handed to you. All right. So I'm one of them people. I didn't really play the first one. The second one, I played a decent amount. You got to keep in mind there's Gears of War coming out in between these games. So as soon as that comes out, it's all done. I don't care about nothing else. I think we all know this from me at this point. So, I look at them and I say, well, I've heard that, most people are just playing 2 now. They've given up on 1. I mean, peer-to-peer, is that what you're talking about, Dredd? Because that really doesn't work, dude. It's not. If you go back and play some of the Gears multi, you can still play it, but it's like peer-to-peer, and they use like freaking 2 servers for the whole world. Like it's pretty crazy, and it's just it's constantly skipping, and it's just brutal. Like I don't know why they even bother at this point. So like it's one of those things where I just don't feel like it's gonna really gravitate people to go and say, hey, I'm gonna go play this, especially being only a multiplayer game. And I think they're just doing what they think is logical and saying, okay, instead of shutting down everything, let's just stop selling the game first. So then, at the least, we're not buying people in to add, that they're going to jump onto servers that we just don't have running anymore. That's the way I look at it. And I'd really like to get into the other stuff like quicker, because this is kind of like beating a dead horse. It's like, it's going to happen anyway. So, I mean, for some people, it's kind of, they're kind of sad about it, but you still have Titanfall 2. You could still go play that. And you never know. They can go back in and do a few tweaks and then, say, okay, we're going to put that effort into this now, that money that we were using for that. So
yeah,
could be a possibility.
I mean, it again, everyone had fantastic points. Before we talk about the scary aspect of EA doing what EA does, and sometimes not so good, is Sour Blow Gaming drops a $5 super chat and says, make a Titan mode in Apex Legends and make Titanfall 3 a 30-hour plus campaign. Apex would help the Titanfall franchise grow. I say that's a great point. I wouldn't mind them continuing the story of the pilot and the Titan. That would be dope. Just a Titan mode in Apex Legends, man. We were talking about this in the green room before, and I don't think I would actually like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a fan of Apex Legends. I played it. It's the 3 versus the whole world kind of a scenario. It's just not my bag. I want tradition. I want 15 on 15, 24 versus 24, dropping Titans. Some NPCs running around that you can shoot and score points from, and just make it different. And I think Titanfall is different enough to be its own animal and still wrangle in many new fans. But I want to segue into what the breaking news I was telling you folks about, and that's because, well, I think it's safe to say that Battlefield 2042 is an incredible disappointment on a multitude of levels, right? How many? Well, I'm going to say that it's a lot of levels. Now, I pulled this particular story from the pages of Windows Central, and they are reporting that big changes are coming to the troubled Battlefield 2042. And when you consider the Metacritic of this game, And I know metas, some people like love it, some people hate it. I'm lukewarm. I think that it needs to exist. I just think change needs to happen where you have to show your receipts that you've actually played the game. You can't be Joe and John's game joystick world and give a game a 2 out of 10. You got to back that up. You can't give a AAA game a 2 out of 10 that doesn't deserve it just because you're biased of one plastic box or another. That's what goes on. That's why Metacritic is flawed. But here are the Metacritic scores for Battlefield 2042. PS5 is a 64. Xbox Series X is a 66. And the PC is a 69. And obviously, this change needed to happen. Now, the report that Windows Central dropped out, and many publications did it, but I saw theirs first. So that's why I'm using their story. Vince Zempella, head of Respawn Entertainment and Ripple Effect, is now head of the entire Battlefield franchise at Electronic Arts, as per report from GameSpot, where this originally broke. Now, this follows the recent launch of Battle 2042, and obviously this was a collaborative effort from multiple teams at EA's worldwide studios that just could not get it together. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that I wasn't excited for a next generation Battlefield, that I wasn't excited that it was going to be a modern Battlefield. I was super stoked for that. And I saw what it looked like in the beta. I saw a lot of people very disenchanted with it. And I actually had the highest edition pre-ordered. Thank God I didn't waste my money on this because I wouldn't download it for free. But here is the statement from EA. And this is what she had to say. Now talking about Vince Zempella. His ability to lead studios and bring developers together so they can create world-class experiences is unmatched. Now, this comes directly from EA Chief Operating Officer, or COO, Laura Mile. And she said this of Zempella: I believe the structure, process, and vision that he brings will enable Battlefield to excel like never before. No one knows shooters and live services better than Vince. Now, the former DICE GM, Oscar Gabrielson, is leaving EA, though it's not clear at the moment of where he is heading or why he is leaving the studio. Additionally, though, folks, according to the article, a Battlefield connected universe is now in development, and a result of the collaboration between DICE, Ripple Effect, and the new Seattle-based team led by former Halo co-creator Marcus Leto. Again, I read this. I'm not going to sit here in front. I got nervous because I said, "Oh God, please, for the love of Joe, do not try and bring Titans into Battlefield." I would literally throw up in my own mouth. Don't do it. That seems like a very EA move. Please, if you want to keep, like I said, we had this conversation before. I don't like that Apex Legends is somehow in the world of Titanfall and it represents the brand. It doesn't for me. As someone that's put thousands of hours into these games, I don't dig that. I want a Titanfall 3 to be its own Titanfall franchise. I don't want to see any of the stupid, goofy characters coming in from that universe into Titanfall. Just keep it the way it was and just make it better. And that's me. I'm being selfish. I know that, but I want to talk to the panel about this. And I'm going to start first with Crispy. I'm going to kind of rotate the order of things. Crispy, Battlefield 2042 is a hot pile of mess. And now again, we understand that it launched during COVID. They made it during a time where working from home maybe wasn't something that they were ready for. But when you see how Halo has turned out, and granted, it was delayed a year, but the multiplayer seemed to always be on point, and we're all playing it. I just hit level 42 this morning. I got an hour worth of footage that you guys are going to see on the back end of the program. And yes, I did pretty damn good. I mean, listen, Crispy, Vince is right now wrangling Apex Legends, potentially a Titanfall 3, right? He's currently working on Jedi Fallen Order 2, and now he's got dropped into his lap the Battlefield. How much could they put on one guy?
I mean, when he's got the right direction, I do want to kind of. I know a lot of people here connected universe. I mean, what if they come out with a single player in a year? You know, they could also use Bad Company to. They've never really connected all the, all the games. You know what I'm saying? So why not start actually doing that for once?
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think I think Titanfall is its own entity. I think even though they say Apex is set in that kind of universe, that doesn't mean that they're gonna, really throw them both in there. Like, yeah, you might get Titanfall skins on it or something like that. So I don't think that's the way Vince is going, is the way you're thinking, which I get. I mean, I don't want that either. I think that's stupid. But they've really never, like, the only games they've always separated them. Like, Bad Company 1 and 2, the story kind of went with each other, but then they kind of went all over the place. You know what I mean? And they're like, like none of these stories really ever connected. And maybe if they just start doing it, obviously you can't go back and remake all these games and make them all connect, but you can go and start now and say, hey, like, we're not going to give up on story ever again. We're not going to make that mistake, because I think that's really hurt them, because at the least, even though it's not playing like you have planes bouncing off of buildings, like, come on, like, it's not good. Like, gameplay is king. I don't care what anybody says. That's why Halo's doing well. You might not like the progression system, but the gameplay is ridiculous, and it's smooth and it plays well. And that's not something that's happening with Battlefield right now. So they got to go back to the drawing board. And of course, they're going to be like, well, our golden child Vince has got to save us. You know what I mean? And that's where I go and say, like, you might as well just have the guy run the whole shebang, and just have him do everything. Have his hands in everything, just kind of moving the pawns, playing the chessboard.
Yeah.
Have him do it. And I think if he turns Battlefield around, I believe he'd be on the fast track to be doing that at some point.
He could actually become one of the head guys at EA, and
Yeah.
I think that if you've seen the progression of since his studio Respawn was acquired, the roles that they have given him, have been bigger and bigger as he continued. And again, obviously, you heard in the comment, he does know what he's doing. I mean, obviously, since he left, I mean, Call of Duty back a couple of years ago, has Call of Duty ever really been that great? Sure, has it been good? Sure, but has it ever been Vince Zempella great? The answer is no, it has not. So there's I mean, this is a big move, but my question to you, Crispy, is Battlefield's a mess, man. Like, it's a mess. I don't necessarily know that they weren't going to him, for advice prior to launching this game. And can one guy actually make a change, and a change that needs to be done now? I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. That he's got a lot of work ahead of him, because and I do believe as quickly as they moved for this, like, you saw 70% of the player base just vanished, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, Vince, you're going. I think Vince was like, you can't do this. This isn't going to work. And I bet you all of a sudden they're like, well, we don't have the time to put a single player on there now. We got to release the game, this and that. And Vince is like, this is going to be a disaster. I could almost guarantee it, because as quickly as they moved with this, it's like they already, like, he had to have said something. And they're like, oh, we can't keep doing this. We got to listen to this guy. You know what I mean? So let's just have him lead it now, and save Battlefield, because I feel like this has really, really hurt the reputation of Battlefield. And, you gotta keep in mind, like, the innovation that Battlefield has done for gaming is incredible. Like,
oh yes,
some of the things that I've been able, even in like Battlefield 1 and 2, like the originals, you know what I mean? Like, the stuff you were able to do in that game at that point in time was ridiculous. Like, going from a helicopter to a person to a tank to a a freaking Humvee, like, you could just, like, constantly, and, like, the amount of technology it took to do that at that time, like, and I just feel like they've fallen back to, like, this, okay, we made this, it's a grand scale, it has a war, but at the same time you made the gameplay horrible, because you can't have planes bouncing. They should blow up. Hello. Like, You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna be doing 800 miles an hour into a building, you shouldn't be there anymore. So
Yeah, you probably shouldn't.
so these are game breaking things that just, you can't ignore it. I'm sorry. So I'm just hoping that they take a step back. Maybe even let's not release one for a while. Let's wait 3 years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's the thing that's disappointing, Crispy, is they're coming off of two semi lukewarm accepted battlefields in World War II, right? In World War One. This was supposed to be the coming home party for Battlefield fans. Anyone that's a Battlefield fan, and I'm a Battlefield fan. Like I didn't play the last two. I'm over World War II. Yeah, it's just not my thing. But this was supposed to be the coming out party, the coming home party for Battlefield. I honestly can't believe that they botched it as big as they did. But again, folks, this is gonna sound okay. You're gonna see the selfish gamer come out for a second. I'm normally very even keeled, right? I'm very right down the middle. I'm gonna get a little catty right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually not thrilled that Call of Duty and Battlefield are doing bad. I am happy. I'm happy because the king gets to now sit in his throne and now get back all the players that left. And I'm talking about who's the king? Halo is the king. And it's one of those things that we're going to look back in 5 years from now, and we're going to be talking about this and say, do you remember when Halo was looked upon as the little brother before everyone launched? Hey, Halo, no one's going to play that game because Call of Duty is out and Battlefield is going back modern. So yeah, Halo is dead. And it turns out that in fact is not the case. Halo is the one on the topping of charts right now, and it's not Battlefield, and it's not Call of Duty. And I'm gonna be honest with you, from the selfish little part of me, not a lot. I don't have a lot of selfishness in me. Just that I'm so happy for it because honestly, you get to see Halo. It has a clean slate to go and take over gaming, and I think it's doing just that. I don't know what you folks have been playing. When I'm not podcasting, when I'm not recording new X-Vlog episodes, and I'm not writing scripts, I'm sitting right there on that leather couch with my headphones on and gaming to Halo, and I can't wait for next week. So good stuff. Dread, I want to bring you in the conversation. This is disastrous for EA. This is disastrous for Battlefield. Now, granted, I think Vince taking over is super great. I think that he is going to bring some monster changes that are going to make that game fantastic. Again, this is selfish Boom. I'm disappointed because what that is going to do is move his focus from Titanfall 3 potentially. Again, this is just my opinion on it. And Titanfall 3 is going to once again take a couple of steps back because they got to get Battlefield right. It's a flagship franchise. They got to fix what's wrong with it. It's just disappointing on a whole multitude of levels that Vince is being spread quite thin, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on Vince being taken over the franchise? Too much for him or no?
Well, let's see. First of all, I'm not muted, so you can actually hear me, which is a good thing.
I do like that.
Yeah. So, no, I think Vince taking over is a good thing. Could he be spread thin? Yes. Everybody could always be spread thin, especially when you're in a position like this. But at the same time, you look at his past, right? What has he done? He's brought these.
All he's ever done is bring winners to the table.
Right, and he's righted some wrongs. Basically, he's made sure that Star Wars was going to be a great game, right? And what was the one thing that they didn't want to do? They didn't want to release a single player game, right? It was all Battlefront. It was all Battlefront, right? So they were like, we want our single player game. And what did they do? He was in charge of it. He didn't bring Titanfall to it. He didn't do it, Apex into it. He brought Star Wars the way we wanted it.
Yeah,
right?
He sure did.
So when you look at it like that, I don't think he's going to bring Titanfall to Battlefield. I think what he's going to bring from Titanfall to Battlefield will be the lessons learned on part of the putting the game together, putting the mechanics together, and fixing the idea. Technically, if you look at it, what they did with Battlefield, they try to open it up to have different variations, open up the versions. They're trying not to lock it down to be the same. So they did try to do something more with it and grow beyond what Battlefield has always been known for, but yet still keep the same bloodline of Battlefield and try to, honor what it was before. When you look at it, right, and yet expand on it. It's just they didn't do it. They didn't do it right. Even with that extra year, they still did not do what they needed to do. So when it comes to that, someone that like with Vince's expertise, and you got to remember, it's not just Vince, it's the people that are around Vince, right? The great leader is usually the people that are around him,
Yep,
are helping
100%.
him going through, right? So when you see a basketball coach, it's not just the coach that was the greatest coach. It was the assistant coaches. It was the rest of the team. You know what I mean? So it's everybody together working for a cause. So he's just going to be one of the guys that's going to be steering the foresight of where this is supposed to go. So where the other leaders had failed, he's going to be able to see that and turn it around and kind of right the course of this ship. Other than that, I don't, like I said, I see lessons learned being brought into this. I don't see anything else other than, hey, check this out. Here's a skin for this, or here's a little innuendo from back here, maybe an Apex thing or a Titan over this way. You might see something in the background. Maybe you will get a Titan, but that would be one of those special maps. It wouldn't be your typical map. You know what I mean? But I don't see them trying to turn it into a mesh with Titanfall, and that would be silly to do that, because now there's no point in having these separate games. There's no point in making all the games into one of everything. You can't win that way. That's not what made Halo, what made Call of Duty. They're all different type of games. You can't mesh everything to be the same thing, right? What did Fortnite do? They learned what worked at other places and made it work in their favor. They didn't change their game. They made it work in their favor for their game. So that's part of the thing that people have to remember. Just because someone's there doesn't mean that everything's scrapped, everything's going to go downhill. Maybe not. You got to be an optimist about making sure that you have the right people. And we've seen his history. We've seen what he can do. So you got to be optimistic about it. I mean, if it's someone that tanked the whole company and then he's at another company, then I can be like, all right, this is going to be the same old. We're going to fire everybody. We're going to go to skeleton crew. We're going to have a whole bunch of contractors, and nobody's going to know what they're doing, and we're just going to push out games. Then what happens? You're going to fail again. These games are going to be lackluster. And this isn't the case with Vince.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously his history clearly indicates that he knows what he's doing, and he's gonna bring his talent to the next Battlefield. Now, is that Battlefield 2042? Well, they're gonna have to. It's a service game, so it's gonna have to get help, and help is gonna have to come soon. I don't think it's gonna be soon enough. I think that game is dead. And making it
that's shaky, sir. That's shaky.
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, it's Call of Duty, Vanguard, and Battlefield 2042. Their biggest issue is that you have to buy those games. Halo is free to play for the first time for multiplayer, which most people play, right? So that really does automatically put them in a bad spot. And the fact that both games kind of suck, well, that's a thing. What's up, Big Cloud? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, sir. What's going on?
You know what? You jump in real quick here. You heard us talking. What are your thoughts on Vince Zempella being given another title and heading not only Respawn, not only the other studio, but now the Battlefield studio? Is it too much for one man?
Personally, I don't think there's anything anybody can do for Battlefield or Call of Duty. I think they've run their course. I think they're just like those guilty pleasure games for the casuals. You know what I mean? They drop every now, whatever, and they'll just get the little fix of it. And after that, after the month is over, the honeymoon phase, they're done with the game and moving on to something else. So just how Call of Duty and those games work. For those games to really make an impact, it would have to take a lot of inspiration from a lot of things, from a lot of certain directions. First of all, Call of Duty should definitely be free to play. The way they charge you for DLC and all that, you might as well just make it free to play. Why not? That open up a new dynamic. Also, they think their game alone is worth $60, let alone $70 for their story. I'm not the only one who believes their stories are garbage and not worth $30, let alone 60 or 70. So, again, Call of Duty's Call of Duty. It's got its fan base. But as far as it surviving its longevity's sake, it's been over for Call of Duty for the longest time. Now they're just cashing in on their legacy. Hence why they keep rehashing the same maps every single year in your day one when you buy these games, right? Like Nuketown, for example, or something from MW3. They always do this. So they just cash in on their legacy. That's it.
Well, obviously, we were saying that before. Has there been a great Call of Duty since Vince left? No.
No.
It has not. So there you go. And he's working with your competition. And now his talent, his skill level is now going to be brought over to Battlefield. And I think you're going to see a significant change.
I mean, look at it like this, Boom. If Battle Royale couldn't save Call of Duty, what can save? Well, you know what I mean? Like that's your answer right there. If Battle Royale, which is the most hyped up thing, can't save your franchise, nothing can.
Yep, and you're 100% right with that. Absolutely. Mr. Joanna Dark, let's grab your opinion on this. Again, not the biggest topic of the show. It is breaking news. Where do you fall with Vince being handed another studio to handle? Too much for one man, or will he rise to the occasion and bring greatness back to Battlefield?
Can we call him God Zempella now? Just like we call him. I agree with everything so far that, even right now, Big Cloud and kind of Redpool was talking about. What I see is maybe him bringing kind of a different culture to EA.
Yeah.
And kind of, steering the ship in the right way and seeing what they can do to salvage, the damage that has been done so far to these franchises. I guess the question I have for the panel is, do you think that, Vince Zempella gets on the phone and kind of says, hey, what's up, Game Pass, and maybe brings the game to Game Pass sooner than we thought to kind of help the player base?
I think they're going to have to. I think you're on to something. That's a fantastic point, dude. You're really onto something with that. I mean, look, we've all thought that it was coming next year. I wouldn't be surprised January this game drops for sure.
I think this was Battlefield's year to kind of really stand out, especially with what happened with COD.
Yeah.
And I think what Vince is going to do is, you have these great IPs. Look what they did with Star Wars and Jedi Fallen Order, and kind of salvage what they still mean to people. And I think that's what you have to do now with a lot of what EA has, stop mistreating a lot of the IPs that you have, because you have a lot of fans that love these games, and you maybe need that shakeup to have this visionary to kind of say, okay, cool, let's strategically start making these moves and what we want it to be, and kind of bring the years of experiences and kind of like what Big Cloud said, and kind of not change what they are, but kind of bring ideas that they can kind of share across these different type of experiences. So I hope that, he's able to, do something positive to kind of continue, to kind of the people that are avid Battlefield fans can be proud of something.
Yeah. They always hype themselves up like, oh my God, Call of Duty's here, guys. We're ready. We're here for another one. It's the biggest game of all time. And I'm sitting there going, you haven't had the same reaction you had since Black Ops 2.
Yep.
You never had that time. Exactly what I'm talking about, Boom, right? Where it felt like a crazy event. Everything was big. Everybody was talking about Black Ops 2. They even had Exhibit playing the game. You know what I mean? Nobody's talking about Call of Duty like the way it is. The reason why? Because they burned all their bridges. They played around too much. Everybody asked for dedicated servers. Still haven't gotten dedicated servers. You still haven't gotten proper respawn system. You haven't gotten none of that stuff. It's like, what's the point? They're not
Yeah.
listening. So
No, yeah, and that's true. They aren't listening. What they're listening to is money, and money. This is a perfect example of.
and that's the sad part.
Yes.
People buy it. The battle passes, they buy all that stuff. And
Stop supporting a game that or a company that's not going to bring you a game that you know and love, and you know they're doing it for the right reason.
Yep.
Let's get Fuzzy's final opinion on this. I'm going to move it on to another topic that I advertised with, and what Microsoft and 343 are doing with Halo Infinite for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members. You're getting free perks each and every week, each and every month, I should say, not every week. Every week would be kind of dope, though. But Fuzzy, I mean, is the damage done for Battlefield? Because I thought it was hanging on by a thread based on the last two. This was the coming out party, and they took it was like a wet fart, and they had to go home. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it can bounce back to some extent. I mean, it won't be anywhere near where it could have been if they had just kind of righted things beforehand. Like a lot of EA's releases outside of Vince's touch on them have had to kind of have some patchwork to get into a better state. Like Battlefield 5 or Battlefield V was kind of in that same ballpark. Same thing with Battlefront 1 and 2. It took some tweaking and fixing and listening to the gaming community to kind of right some of the wrongs and get things back on track. They wound up being in a much better state, but at a much smaller player base. I think the idea of Vince calling up Game Pass, that would be a tremendous idea. So kudos on you for thinking that. I just right now I look at it as one more home run for Vince. He might as well just be CEO over at EA. But then the drawback is usually when you're CEO, you don't have your hands in the dev team or studios as frequently, or have your own touch on things per se. But then again, he seems to know how to have or work with teams or build teams that he can either entrust to carry out this vision or to work on things in the manner that lead to a good polished final product. Will he be spread thin? Sure, in the immediate, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's better to spread him thin than to probably, like you were saying earlier, ignore him. Like he probably pitched in their ear, hey, this is probably not the best way to release this, and they went and did it anyway, and they're like, okay, yeah, you were right, all right, here's the chair, you're in charge, have at it, type of thing. So I just hope, I mean, I agree with you on the selfishness with, it's kind of funny. Hey, Halo is the one that's going to be the standout when everybody was like,
funny because Halo was the little brother. He's like, yeah, that's little Jimmy with the gimp leg. No one cares about him, right?
Yeah,
and it seems like a lot of people are going to care about Master Chief, and they're going to, like I said, it's a perfect storm. And I don't laugh at anyone's failure, folks. This is not me just being a jerk, right?
No.
But if you're an old school Halo fan, and I'm a diehard Halo fan, Halo 3 was where I spent my most of the 360 years playing that game with my brother and my friends, and it was just incredible to see that there's a potential. Again, right now, a lot of people don't like the progression system. They have to tweak some things. That is for sure. But the core gameplay is phenomenal. But
it's really smooth.
It is just so much. It's all I think about playing, and it's all I think a lot of people are going to think of, want to be playing. Because, like I said, Call of Duty, it's just Call of Duty. I thought it was a mistake that they went back to World War II. They did, not so much. And then I thought Battlefield is going to be there because they're going modern. And again, it took a big dump. So it's fine.
They want to go back to futuristic so bad because they have no other plans. And that's
they actually don't, which is
pathetic.
It is pathetic for sure. But listen, I want to move on to the Halo topic, and then we're going to get into the Game Awards, and not so much what Keighley is doing. We know what Keighley's doing. I want to know your opinion on what Microsoft is going to be doing, because we're hearing that this is going to be a Game Awards you don't want to miss, and considering that they launched the console there and Hellblade 2, the question that we'll be trying to tackle is what else could they do? Could they go bigger?
Be
And
excited. So I
oh
got
yes,
to
I agree. But real quick, I got to thank two people. Chaos Mite 5, who drops a $5 super chat, good friend of the show. He said, "Sad to see Titanfall go, but Halo is here to stay." Hashtag here comes the boom, and hashtag hit that like button. Indeed, thank you very much for that. And we have On the Bright Side drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 was good or better than any Call of Duty game ever, in my opinion. Both campaign and multiplayer. Vince wasn't there. Don't hate it if you didn't play it." Actually, I'm only missing one achievement in Modern Warfare, the remake. I got almost every achievement in this in a single player and multiplayer. I could care less about. So I actually did play it and quite enjoyed it, but that's technically Vince's DNA. That's a remake of the original. So so he's not technically there doing it, but that's kind of Vince's thumbprint on there, so to speak. So, but that's okay, dude.
They
Listen,
haven't had a solid good
original.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
I probably should have said that. That's my fault. There on the bright side.
Yeah.
I probably
original would be Black Ops 2.
I should have painted it. Yeah, I should have painted the picture better. But I agree with you. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't play the multiplayer. Call of Duty is not my jam. Titanfall, The Division, Halo. That's my multiplayer fix. But folks, speaking of the king, the return.
Did you max out yet?
I am just hit level 42 this morning. Okay. So I got a bit of ways to go, but I changed my armor, and I bought a couple of skins that you can't change the armor. That's my only issue is that you should be able to. They got to make some things, but I finally got like the dome helmet.
I got the gold.
Yes, that's what I got. The gold.
Yeah,
dude, it's dope. It's dope. I got to take a picture and show it out there. I look pretty. I love the way the character looks. I'm gonna make some tweaks on the shoulder stuff, but I love it. But listen, folks, if you didn't know, it was announced that Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members will now receive Halo Infinite multiplayer bonuses every month. This comes directly from Microsoft, and that's a big deal because obviously, they want you to buy Xbox Game Pass because Halo multiplayer is free to play. But here's just another, carrot on the end of the stick, so to speak. And the first one that comes to us as of December 1st is it's called Game Pass Ultimate Perk. It's called the Pass Tense, and you get the MA40 AR bundle, which will be available on December 8th. That's in a couple of days. Which obviously is the release of the single player and the multiplayer. Right now, we're playing the beta, this is what it actually includes: the Past Tense pack. It includes the MA40 assault rifle coating, 4 2 XP boosts, and 4 challenge swaps. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, get yourself some XP boost because there were some matches where I was going up a level and a half. Like I did so well that I was getting 300 for one challenge, 400 for another 250. I was adding up. I'm like, holy crap, there's a problem with it, but I like the way I'm leveling
it's like
up.
They gimp the challenges. You only get like a fraction of what they're worth.
Yeah, they got to do something. Their response to it was that the next season isn't coming till May, right? So they didn't want people to just blow through 100 and say, what do I do now? I would just reset it, honestly. I think the best way they could potentially do this is not reset your number, right? But
reset
like
the tiers, maybe.
Yeah, kind of like we reset the perks that you get for going up to level 101. It wouldn't say 101. It would just be level 1, but you would have be quote unquote prestige.
Yeah, you have all this. You have all your stuff. Yeah,
and you don't lose your stuff. Please don't make me have to get everything again because I'm going to hate you forever. Don't do that. That's awful. Prestige and keep your stuff, but then offer other new things on the back end of a prestige level is the way to go. I'm going to start first here with our special guest, Mr. Joanna Dark. Obviously, this is, again, some people are going to be like, well, boom, it's not a big announcement to me. I hear you. I hear you, but you know what? It is for me because I'm paid up for Game Pass until November of 2024, and I want all the free shit I can get. And if being a member of that is going to get me Halo stuff, I'm all in. And you know what? How much money have you dropped? Me, I dropped probably around $70 on Halo so far. Now, half of that, more than half of that, came through Microsoft Rewards, which I'm a big fan of. I'm always going to Bing, playing the little games and racking up the points and stuff. So I wound up just cashing in my points and getting some stuff for Halo. For you, will these perks incentivize, outside of already 500 games that people are playing, to get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate?
I think it's a start. I think it's great to kind of provide these perks to customers that are playing on Game Pass and playing on Halo. It allows them to come back and kind of get some of the things they want to, either some cool rifle or some XP. I know me personally, I've spent about a little bit over, I would say $100. I bought that Wu-Tang Clan licking armor that looks really nice on my Spartan, and and I think there's something that we're asking. I think a lot of the community was asking, hey, what are you putting into Game Pass? We see these perks that, hey, Apex Legend, all these other games. Why not have the one game that, of course, is under Microsoft and give these incentives to gamers
100%.
that are in the service? And it might bring people over, especially, when you have the game available on Steam and other platforms in the sense of, cloud and everything via Game Pass. You can say, hey, well, you know what? If you come and get Game Pass and play the game via the Xbox app, these are some of the cool perks that you can get. With this past tense, I'm not sure if those perks will transfer over to Steam. I'm pretty sure it does because it's kind of cross progression and everything. But I think this is a start, and hopefully, like I've been telling everyone online, continue to provide the feedback to 343. They're very passionate on listening to this feedback. As someone that works closely with them on the support side and feedback, they want to make sure that everyone's having an experience, and I think this is a good way to start overall.
Yep, I absolutely agree. Let's bring in Fuzzy Belvedere. Fuzzy, this is great. This is a nice. I mean, like I said, the 2 XP. They're giving you 4 of those. You're getting 4 of the. I'm gonna be honest with you. I won't use the swaps because I don't really go for the challenges. I just play the game. I know that it's a part of the game. It's part of the game that I'm probably going to ignore unless there's a very specific thing like the Hayabusa armor. That's coming soon. That's not out now. I think that's going to be in the second season. If I have to be a slave to doing these challenges, which I'm not, that changes ultimately that changes the way I play the game, and I won't like that. But because I love that freaking armor from 3, I will do what I have to do. But for me, the swaps, it doesn't mean anything to me. I like the XP boost for obvious reasons. You go up in level. Are you excited to see what else they could bring to the table in regards? Maybe we'll even get a skin dropped in there, and those are normally like $10 a piece.
Oh yeah, it would be awesome. I applaud Microsoft as far as doing that for the Ultimate members, being an Ultimate member for the past few years. The only other thing I would want them to do is possibly do a family plan. But aside from that, I really want them to do more of this stuff for more of their first party games. Like, just imagine getting a few extra cars or extra money to spend in Forza Horizon 5 or any of their other first party titles. Like I always look forward to these types of perks. It's like that added incentive for me to keep my subscription type of deal. And they, like you were saying earlier, when it came to like Apex Legends, getting the gun charms and things like that. Yeah, it's great for Apex, although my kid plays it more so than I do. I want something from a game that I actually play, and having these perks for Halo is awesome. But I also want to see them do that for Forza. I want to see them do it for Redfall when Deathloop comes over, possibly a skin thrown in there for Ultimate members as well. So that's a good way to keep your subscribed. Well, I'm probably going to be subscribed anyway, but it's that added incentive or that added bonus that will, one, keep me subscribed and possibly get more people to that just have the standard Game Pass to want to up it to Ultimate, so that way they can get some of those additional perks and things. It's a really cool idea.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I do like the idea that you had I'm hoping that one of the perks for season 2 is a new skin.
Yeah.
I know there's a Christmas skin that's coming that is free. It's going to be in the shop. You'll be able to download it, like the red, white, and blue one. It almost looked like Falcon's armor from Winter Soldier. It looks really good. I haven't used it. I went out and bought the one that's black and blue and the red camo one, but I just changed all to some of the other gear that I unlocked. BitCloud, you've been playing Halo Infinite. A lot of people don't know that. I think, oh, this guy is just a Sony dude, but you've been playing some Halo. What are your thoughts on?
Why are you breaking my cover story? That's my
I know. I've just outed you. I am sorry. Live on the. What are your thoughts on them adding this? I think it's a great way. I'm not saying that the perks are going to sell you Game Pass. Game Pass is, you're going to buy Game Pass because X game is in there. Yeah, but this is free bonus stuff, and they do a lot of it. You know, they play a lot of
incentive.
Yeah, another incentive. What are your thoughts on this?
It's cool. It's straight. I definitely like that, and it's smart, especially with the way things are right now with the progression system. This is definitely a good way of getting more eyes on it, especially if you haven't decided now. Now's the time. Again, after playing Halo, it's definitely better than I thought it was going to be. It definitely is. They definitely delivered. I wasn't expecting to be this smooth. That's what really took me over.
It's crisp, dude, and it's still in the beta, which is bananas.
So the fact that it's still in beta form, it's still doing that. I ain't gonna lie. I agree with Stella, Parallax Stella or Stella Chung, from IGN. I do believe that. I think people eat a little too many bullets with the with the rifle. It's a little bit. Time to kill is definitely high, or it's it's not as. They can bring that down a bit, but I mean, it's cool though. It definitely encourages you to play as a unit. That's what I like about it,
dude. When you roll as a pack, and you are in your squad, you're gonna see. Like, I'm gonna bring up the footage right now.
This is actually farthest away from Call of Duty you can possibly get. The reason why I say that. That's kind of how a lot of people typically try to do it. You know how they try to one man it the whole time.
You can't,
and you
really will get slaughtered.
Yeah, you will definitely get slaughtered. You will not have a good time with the game if you do that. God, what else can I really say about it? I mean, the pistols are great. The shock pistol,
dude, that handgun is especially when you do headshots. You get four shots into face, they're down.
Yeah. And the game actually, again, it looks great too. And it's great. It's a good it's a good step in the right direction. They definitely stepped it up and everything. As far as cosmetics concerned, I mean, again, cosmetics don't really, push me away from the game. Obviously, they're optional, but as long as there's nothing crazy, like let's say a weapon in there that you go,
yes,
if that's the only thing,
if you had to buy a weapon, that would be egregious, for absolutely sure. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they are. Look. Yeah.
I think they have the perfect system.
They just need tweaks.
They definitely need tweaks. I think they got the store and everything, the way they're going about it, especially the battle pass. I think they got that stuff well thought out in terms of how they want to do it. I will be honest, the battle pass earnings you get this particular season, let's just call it season 1, right?
Yeah,
it's not that great. Not that great. I would kind of hope for them to go over the top with the next season. I'm talking, if it's possible, have animated armor. You know what I mean? Have something cool. Have effects that can go on the armor.
They do have the flaming head and the flaming armor at level 100.
Yeah, but it's how long is it going to take you to get to level 100?
It's taking me a bit. I'm only at level 42, and I only bought. I bought the season pass. I got the 25 up front, and then I think I bought another 4 or 5 because there was a specific piece of armor that I wanted. But other than that, I've just earned playing.
Here's the wild part. I know a few people who spent about $200 already just to level up and get up there. Like my friend Blaze 4K, he spent over damn near $200 on all this stuff. And I'm like, good God. And he's like, yeah, I know. I'm trying to get this. I'm like, this is bringing me back to Rogue Company because we do this on Rogue Company. We buy the stuff. I'm like, dog, you're bringing up bad vibes. Why are we doing this? He's like, well, I want the armor. I'm like, what you gonna do when the next season starts? They have something better. I'm gonna spend another 200. I'm like, oh God, that's the thing. And
I bought a lot of Pringles just to get that 2 XP.
No, people were doing that, buying them drinks. I'm like, dude, everybody's got their own hustle to get the XP. It's like Jesus. So hopefully they fix that. But it's good.
This is the game I was
good.
telling you about that we smoked them 100-0. Like they didn't. They don't think they got. I love Oddball. Oddball is awesome to play because it's so chaotic.
You know, I don't like, and I thought I was gonna love it. I'm gonna be honest. I actually thought I was gonna love it. I thought I was gonna love Capture the Flag. I am not a fan of Capture the Flag.
I don't mind it. It's not my go-to, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I can't.
I don't like the Power Cell one. That's one.
Yeah,
Power Cell one is that's again it's a bit chaotic. Oh no, okay, so they did get 3 here. This wasn't a match anyway.
Like the way the game is set up, it kind of reminds you of Call of Duty. Remember how it had that mosh pit playlist where it's like a mixture of modes,
a little bit of everything.
Right. I am waiting for them to get rid of that, or not get rid of it, but to have you the option where you can just pick a select mode that you want to play. I would rather have that than just having to, go through the cycle of playing when I don't, a mode that I don't.
That you're not a big fan of. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, a playlist would be big for sure, no doubt. Yeah,
because a lot of games, I don't know if y'all caught on to this, they end pretty quick, depending on what it is. They can end relatively quick, and then you'll be in a game that you not necessarily want to be in, that you're not really that familiar with, or you're not a fan of, but. That's about it. That's just minor nitpicks. But it's good though. It's better than what I thought it was going to be. Like we go back to when we first saw this game. We had all the fears.
yeah, for sure, and for good reason, folks. Yeah. For absolutely good reason. Joanna Dog actually had dropped something into the chat. He says, on the topic of skins, it would be great to have some collaborations with like Marvel or Star Wars. Yes, please. I would love. Spider-Man skin or a Hulk skin. It's just something that would be kind of dope. I don't know how many people would dig that. I want
a Gundam skin.
Dude,
you know what we need?
Those little I forgot what they're called, but like the little things that hang on your guns. What are those things called?
Trinkets.
Those would be cool if they had Marvel inspired ones. You got like that'd be cool. Have that on your weapon or have different skins for the weapons.
Give us the Doom guy skin.
Doom guy. I'm gonna say this selfishly. Can I have a Titanfall skin, a pilot skin here? Yes, please. I will definitely buy that. If you're listening, Microsoft, please, thank you.
I'm thinking like Voodoo Vents or Blinks of Time Cat.
Let's get a Killzone skin. Let's get a collaboration Killzone skin with the Hellgeist.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Crispy Bomb. I want to go to you next because obviously, again, you are our biggest, one of our biggest multiplayer guys on the panel, specifically with Gears. We've seen some skins come to Gears in the form of Terminator. We saw 2 Halo skins get in there for Gears 5, which was kind of dope. With the perk system, should they offer a new skin? I mean, again, the game hasn't even officially launched, so I don't want to sound like I'm asking for too much. The perk system, I think, is fantastic. I would like to see some skins come to it. What about you?
Right now, it's in beta form. I'll tell you, the way BitCloud sounds is that the free-to-play model's working.
Yeah,
because when you guys are dropping all this money on it, I mean,
are you implying that we're suckers?
I'm a sucker. No. Are you implying that we're suckers? Skin? Take my money, please.
I like you to say it aloud, sir. But
let's put it this way:
it's definitely working for a lot of people. If you're spending $200 on this damn game, and we're not even in the full-fledged release.
Yes.
That's it's pretty telling. I mean, granted, I love Rogue Company. I spent damn near $200 in Rogue Company, but that's because I love the game. I want to see that game really get out there. I think that game got snubbed. To be honest, the game. I wanted more eyes.
I agree.
I wanted more eyes on that, but it is what it is. But
yeah. I mean, it's just it's got Gears 5 vibes all over it. Like the way the system's set up and everything else. It's like you didn't learn from this.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like they're moving quick. They're not sitting there like in concrete right now, just like, oh, everything's fine. Like they're doing little things like, okay, Game Pass Ultimate members, here you go, here's some stuff. You know what I mean? And like the boost thing. I mean that was in Gears from the start. Like they tested all this stuff and it wasn't received very well. The Tour of Duty system it's the same thing that they're talking about with you having objectives and stuff like that. We hated that as a community. So we were actually like, damn it, why didn't you just bring back the packs and we'll take that again? Like we were so mad at all of ourselves because we were all complaining about, you know, the Gears packs and everything they had in Gears 4, and we just had tons of stuff, and it took forever for them to. They just kind of sat there and they're just like, okay, well, we're working on it. And they really moved slowly. So I am happy to see that they're in beta. They're already working on this stuff. They're saying, okay, we screwed up. We shouldn't have did that. And, you know, you got to give them credit because it is free to play. So they have a little bit of a different lacks in there. But at the end of the day, it's still like, dude, like people just want to play their game mode. People just want to get kills. And, you know, for the people that just want that and go for the objectives and stuff, they have a little bit of trouble when they see somebody earn as many XP as they do, and they basically don't help at all. And that's kind of what I'm seeing at times. You know, some people are just like, I go for all of my perks and everything, and I just want to get whatever I can, and I don't care about winning the game. And that's maybe the problem they're kind of getting into right now, which like I said, it looks like they're fixing it quickly, and they still have time. You know, they can get to the end of the year and really switch everything up and make it more to what the Halo community is used to.
I absolutely agree. Let's get Dreadpool in an opinion. Dreadpool, the perk system is great because, again, on top of everything you're already getting in Game Pass, it's just a perk. It's just an extra. And them incorporating Halo, not just for the launch month, but every month moving forward, we're going to have something new. Now, they didn't specifically say that they are going to have skins or they're going to have other types of perks. We can assume, and of course, if you assume, you can I'll make an ass out of myself if I'm wrong. That's not a problem. But I would imagine that it's not going to be the same perks every. It's not going to be, you know, 4 of this and 4 of that, and that's all. I would imagine there are going to be skins. Is this a great idea to keep people engaged with Halo Infinite?
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this. I was like, you know, this seems very familiar from somewhere. Where can I put my thumb on this? I don't know. Games with gold. Ah, look at that. You get a free game just by being subscribed, right? So yet again, being subscribed to Ultimate gets you a free perk in Halo. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, not the same, but it's kind of the same thought, the same process. If you want this extra stuff for free, you have to be subscribed somewhere, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
it doesn't affect the game in any way where it's going to give you a cheat. You know what I mean? So it's not like that, which is a good thing. And it's incentivizing. You know, you guys were talking about skins earlier. That stuff is incentivizing. I think more like trinkets or
the
stickers.
moment they start hiding like perks behind the paywall or something like that, then that's when we have a problem.
Right?
Yeah, they're not doing nothing egregious though.
Yeah, you don't want to go overboard with it, but you want to incentivize to have people come over. Here's a reason why to get Ultimate. You know, you don't have to, but here's an added reason why, right?
Yeah.
Here's an added reason why to get gold. We're going to give you a couple games for free. Here's the reason why, right? It's the same theories, same process, same principles, you know, apply here, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's to me, I'm excited for it. And what I still find surprising though is everybody is like, oh my god, you know, they just said they're doing this because of this, and they said this stuff earlier this year, late last year when they were talking about multiplayer. They said it already that whoever's got Ultimate's going to get extra perks.
Yes.
So it was already known. I just find it surprising that people forgot or never heard about it.
Yeah, well, maybe it was put on the back burner. Maybe it's something that, you know, like, yeah, I won't believe it till I see it, kind of a thing.
That's possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I'm all in on this for sure. Let's. Who did I get on the panel here so far? Did I get everybody for this particular topic? Because I went out. Okay, so I went out of order. Anyway,
yeah, you got Crispy. He fell asleep after you said Gears.
Oh God!
Oh, he's up. Oh man, I thought I was.
There he is. There's Chris. He's back alive. He's back alive. Listen, folks. Enjoy the Halo multiplayer gameplay. Which I literally recorded this an hour before we went live.
Fun.
Yeah. Dude, was having a blast. I can't wait to get back. Literally, as soon as this is, I'm heading back over to jump in for sure.
Was this
But
customs or actual?
No, this was just as I play quick
Oh,
match. I just jumped into quick match and I let it do I like the randomness of it, so I don't mind oddball one time, capture the flag another. I like this. This is one of my favorite modes in Titanfall was to capture the area. But I do want to move the topic along, or the show along, I should say, and talk about the Game Awards. Now, the Game Awards, it launched like it always does with controversy. The biggest controversy being that Forza Horizon 5 got snubbed. We're not talking about that. That's dead air at this point. It's just bad. But what we are going to talk about is the rumors and the potential personal wants from us for what Microsoft could in fact bring to the table at the awards that are going to be on the 9th of December. It is being held in the Microsoft Theater, so there is a good chance that they have some control. I mean, it's Jeff's show, and it's just him, obviously renting out the place, but it's the Microsoft Theater, so if they're going to do something big, they will have some sort of control. The same way they did when they the Game Awards of 2019, where they shocked the world, folks, with unveiling the Series X and Hellblade. A lot of people are saying that Hellblade 2 is going to make a return. One of those people is Jez Corden. I believe he was talking about it with Randall Thor, good friend of this program. We've heard that's one, but we've also heard the number 3, that there's going to be 3 big reveals. The question is, what are those reveals going to be? And I'm going to start first with Fuzzy Belvedere. The question that I want to pose to the chat, which we have almost 300 people here, is Microsoft has had a monster year, but not even trying to be funny. They've had a monster year on every level possible. They're ending the year with Halo Infinite and Halo Infinite multiplayer that's coming out of beta on the 8th, a day before the show. How big does Microsoft need to go? What size cherry do they need to put on this incredible banana boat sundae that they have painted? Because quietly they have put one of the best years that I would dare say a decade of Xbox gaming has been 2021. Just the amount of IP, first party, multi-plat, sure, with Psychonauts, but the bottom line is that they really did an incredible bang up job. For you, you're heading this thing. How big do you go at this show that has millions? And every year, I mean, whether you like Jeff or you don't, and I like Jeff, I just don't like his tactics sometimes. It is a big show. It is the biggest show in gaming. That there's no doubt about it. And every year it continues to grow in size. So if you're Microsoft and you're having this banner saga type year, how big do you go?
That's a tough one. Considering the kind of like known projects that are in the works kind of thing, I don't know if you do like a sizzle reel of all of them kind of thing, but say, mainly to kind of put I mean, kind of to put a stamp on this current or this next generation, as far as, hey, come home to Xbox, because and then they show an update for Hellblade 2, Project Mara, Project Nightmare from Arcane. They show what was the Project Cobalt from Inexile. No, Project Nightmare was not Arcane. Project Nightmare was the Compulsion one. So it's like they have so many kind of like known projects out there that they've either whispered about themselves or have kind of gotten leaked. I say show at least 3 of those, if not at least 5, somewhere between.
I'd love to see an update on Fable. Maybe we get Avowed. Maybe we get Hellblade. I mean, that would be a triple-headed monster that would literally close out the year of everyone just talking about Xbox.
Like the thing that comes to mind is like kind of like what Marvel did with the like all of their upcoming movies where they had some of them they had dates,
Oh,
some
like
of
an
them they
epic
had
reel?
years
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, you talking
Kind
about the
of
layout.
do something like that, but like show people like almost like the way their headset commercial work, where it's like, all right, you're coming home, you turn on your Xbox, and then it's like the future of Xbox or coming soon to Xbox, and then just list after list after list of games that are kind of like the known ones. I know that they probably have a good handful of ones that we still don't know about and haven't been leaked yet, but at least the ones that are coming within the next year or two, definitely give them some spotlight, because there's, like you said, there's going to be millions of people watching. It definitely helped them with the unveiling of the Series X and Hellblade 2. It definitely helped them with Perfect Dark last year. Continue that tradition, make it so that way people know to view, the video game awards to see what's coming with Xbox. I mean, it would be nice to have that on like their like an XO type of thing for the end of the year, but considering you want to appeal more than to just your current fan base, don't hold anything back. If it's within the next 2 years, just let it ride, let it show it, and that'll be the buzz for like the next 6 months to a
Yeah,
year as
absolutely.
far as stuff
Well, look how
coming.
long the buzz was. I mean, it was a console, so yeah, so there's no doubt about that. But
Yeah.
look how much the buzz was for Hellblade 2 and the console. Like people
Yes.
went into the next year talking about Xbox, and they just couldn't stop talking about them. Before I get to Mr. Joanna Dark on this one, Jordy from Xbox Era, good friend of mine personally, he becomes a channel member, and he says this. Fantastic panel. Waves to my buddy Joanna Dark. Keep up the amazing work, Mr. Boomstick. Great to see the legendary Titanfall universe continuing on. Indeed, it does. We also have JC Claramore, generous friend of the show. He drops a $2 super chat and says, "Where has the trophy room guy been?" Just wondering. Yeah, Joe, who is, I consider him like a little brother, is actually working a real job. So he had to leave both shows. That's why he hasn't been on. But he's in a job where he does have breaks throughout the year. So he will be popping back on as a guest. But you can still catch Joe.
Yeah,
And
big
his,
shout out to him. Check out the trophy room.
go check out the trophy room. Obviously, with his best friend Kyle, they do a great job over there. And yeah, he'll be making his return appearance.
He had a great year. It's like yours truly. He had a great year.
Both of you guys had a fabulous year for sure. We also had, let's see, this Thanaros drops a question in that Dreadpool thought I should read. He says this: how can we hear Knuckles crack in the armor? I don't know, but I like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I hope they add some different things. Like I wouldn't say giving somebody the finger. Microsoft wouldn't do that, but they could do like the this sign or whatever. Like Jimmy Snooker used to do from back in the days. Mr. Joanna Dark, where do you fall on the size and scope of how big Microsoft, quote unquote, needs to go? Because they are literally sitting in a good position. So they're not forced to try and regain any momentum. They have mind share. In fact, their mind share right now is just unbelievably bananas. But my question to you is, how big do they need to go?
I would be happy if they gave us updates on some games that we already kind of, seen and kind of been announced, and then give us like that one that we never saw coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I just recently talked to this with the Nickel Gaming Show. If I had a genie and I could make this happen, I would love to see a short 2-minute trailer that starts with a cutscene and then cuts into gameplay of Perfect Dark to kind of give us what that game and the vision is going for. And then my second one would be what Compulsion, which is I've been kind of waiting to see what they do next. Because to me, I think Compulsion is a sleeper within Microsoft, because I'm a big fan of We Happy Few. Then my third one that I was saying would be, so we have Compulsion's game. I would love to see Avowed. Again, another game that I'm excited about. But my stealth one would be the rumored Quake reboot. And after they show us that,
they say that Quake 4 is available backwards compatible now. And then to me, that would be a great show. I think updates on what we have and maybe one thing that kind of gets everyone excited would be great. I think at the end of the day, Microsoft has been the top of the conversation 2021, and they just need to, continue and, maybe hold it for E3 next year.
Yeah, no, I mean they have so much in the works. Outside of the projects that we know that they're working on so many. There's the 14 unannounced projects they're working on, which is just bananas. So they have a lot to show, and they could logistically hold some stuff back. But I think I would end the year big. That's just me. But let's get BitCloud on this. BitCloud, obviously, right now, Microsoft has incredible momentum, right? We have all of the games that launched in the middle of the year, and they're bookending the holidays with Forza Horizon 5 that has over 11 million players, and now and continues to grow. It's probably closer to 12 million players now. And they have Halo Infinite, which is getting incredible buzz with its multiplayer in beta, and the single player is getting huge buzz. And people are saying 343 is back. So they have the momentum. They have the people's eyes on the brand. How big do you go on December 9th?
Well, again, you said it back in 2019. They shot the world with the Series X. None of us expected that. And then they showed us the trailer for Hellblade. So what do you do to top that? It's simple. You show off gameplay of Hellblade 2.
Yep.
And you go, guess what? Yeah, that trailer that you saw, yeah, it wasn't CGI. This is what you can get, or at least this is what close you can get to this.
Yes.
And you really like show off the box. Because the PS5 and Series X are not really going to get really pushed, you know what I mean, until 2023. That's just how we've already seen this. Cross-gen titles are gonna not, or they're gonna hold the system back for a bit with these cross-gen titles. That's why God of War Ragnarok doesn't look that insanely different from what you saw in 2018. That's why you see Horizon Forbidden West. It looks good, right? Improved sound and everything, pretty visuals, but it's not over the top. You know what I'm saying? Versus what we got before. You're going to start seeing that type of stuff with Spider-Man 2 when they really start pushing the box. And, of course, one of my most anticipated games, Wolverine. I can't wait to see what the hell they do with that. But, again, back to Xbox. I would say Hellblade 2 would definitely be the game that you go, this is what's achievable on the box. This is what we do. And then if I was to be someone to show off something else, I would say show off Avowed. If possible, show off Avowed. Like, show off not even gameplay, right? Maybe another trailer to give people a little bit more of sense of what else you can do. Like, give them an idea of what you can do. Then you can do like, hey, we got Halo here. Halo's in the best shape it's ever been. And then you do like a mashup between those two, Halo and Forza.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think again when you have two AAA bombs like that and you bookend them, man, yeah, you're gonna turn some heads and you can potentially bring back a lot of people. I mean, we've seen quite a few people on the socials that saw that Master Chief trailer, and there's been quite a few of them. They're like, I've read them all. Wow, that's what Halo looks like. I got to get an Xbox.
Oh yeah, like that's the game. Like Hellblade. A lot of people didn't play Hellblade, man. Hellblade's a great game. They did this on a budget. That game was great on a budget.
I think the team was, if I'm not sure, it was like 19 or 20 people.
20 people, and
incredibly small.
It was cool how they did it because they did like for like bosses and like certain characters, you can clearly see that that's a staff member. You clearly see staff, with like a helmet on, right?
Well, when they did that view where the guy is talking, that's somebody that works in the studio.
It's like
it's crazy.
Why are you in the office playing around? But it's like it works. It works for what they were doing in the budget, and it made the game special. Now you have all the bells and whistles. You got the funding. You got the tools to do what you really want to do with this character. I am expecting, like, my expectations are super high for Hellblade.
Yeah, me too.
I really expecting them to knock that one out the park. Like, I'm expecting I'm expecting Ninja Theory to essentially be their Insomniac.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's a
You
great
get
comparison.
you see, I'm going this like I expect
Yeah.
them to be their breakout one. If anything, I'm not expecting Perfect Dark to be here or nothing like that. But I would really put money on Hellblade 2, and that being like that's it. You know, that's our poster boy for now.
Have you guys gone back to the update that just came on PC and the consoles? And that game looks even incredible with some of the ray tracing they've added and
Yeah.
some of the extra bells and whistles.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I recorded some footage of a couple of months ago regarding. You talking about is it something new they added?
So
Yeah, they added some new elements to it.
Yeah, on the Series X, and then if you have a PC, you can also it has the same updates that the Series consoles got, and it looks incredible. It looks beautiful. I can't wait to replay it as well as Hellblade comes closer.
Nice. Well, listen, I mean, great stuff for sure. Real quick, Alex is a Valve drops a very generous $5 super chat. This is exciting for this announcement and believe Battlefield would only get better with this edition. Also, hello to all you amazing people. Well, hello to you, brother, and thank you so much for the generosity and, of course, being here. And my very good friend, and we actually are friends in real life, we get together every year for our very nerdy Game of the Year dinner. That's right. We're a bunch of nerds. Jay the Destroyer has become a channel member once again. Thank you, Jay the Destroyer. I definitely appreciate that. Crispy Bomb. This is an opportunity for Microsoft to throw down the gauntlet. My question to you is, if you're running the show, how big do you go at the Game Awards, one of the biggest and most watched events of every year?
You like what? Last year was what, 45 million?
Yes, it was ridiculous.
It's probably going to be 60 million this year. You go all out. I mean, the momentum you have right now, you really got to go all out. You got so many IPs that we know about but haven't seen enough of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your Hellblades, your Avoweds. You know, Obsidian is a crazy studio as well. I think Ninja Theory and Obsidian are the two of the best purchases Microsoft has ever made, and I think they're going to prove that down the road. I'm waiting for collaborations with Bethesda and like Obsidian or something like that.
Yes,
I would go bananas. I would go crazy if I saw New Vegas 2. I would,
and that's coming. I think that what
Yeah.
you're saying is going to happen. They know the fans want it.
They definitely need more of a mascot too. They need to bring like Conquer or Banjo really like back as well.
Thank you. Someone from the gaming
Yeah.
gods, listen to this man.
they
Bring us
really
back
need
a
to bring
Banjo,
that.
damn it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like it sucks that Sony's the only one that's got, you know what I mean? Boom, like it sucks. On play, they're the only one to have the moments like this.
It's
where they're
why I
getting
enjoy
crap.
Sony.
Yeah.
Because they respect their legendary IPs. They're not afraid to not make $1 million. And I think with Xbox Game Pass is another reason why you don't have to worry, oh man, did we sell 20 million copies of X? Because people are going to play it, potentially even join the service because of X game. So
Oh yeah, and they can use their back and pat to hype that game up anyway, get people into it. They be like, hey, this new game is, they can show off legacy titles with the improvements with performance, and then those give you the full-fledged next-gen version with the remake. I mean,
I think Conquer can exist. What if it becomes a parody of Microsoft IPs, where instead of being
I love
movies and
it.
kind of it,
Yes.
he's just going through a bunch of games and being like Doom guy or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it could happen.
be their funny, mature version of Astral Playroom for PlayStation. There you go.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
think about that. Yeah, that's exactly what they could do.
Yeah, I mean, Conquer is made for that too. I mean, seriously.
I think Obsidian with their type of witty jokes can make a Conquer. I think.
I would love to see it.
With-
the RPG
with the
Master
writing-
is making a Conquer. I freaking think that's fantastic. I do like that.
But I have one final curveball I would throw out there, and that's why not announce a dongle or the cloud gaming stick with a controller
Yes,
bundle
that's something else.
for
they could.
$100.
$100 comes with a Series X controller in a nice little box. Every TV becomes an Xbox. I think that's fantastic.
That'd
and
be
why
good.
not?
Or I would do what a lot of people have been asking for the longest, Killer Instinct 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to be talking about. It's funny you should say that. I'm putting some stuff together for Tuesday's Xbox Factor podcast. They just made a freaking monster hire. That is, and he said he didn't say what studio
I know exactly
he's
what you're talking
attached
about.
to.
Yeah.
He said I'm currently at Xbox Game Studios, which tells me that they're either going to potentially announce a new studio to help them make the fighting game, and this guy may be taking over. We'll see. I'm putting that story. That's going to be the lead story on Tuesday's Xbox Tractor podcast. That's how I work with these podcasts. I start building these stories days in advance. But yeah,
Besides-
now's the time with everything going on and with
100%.
Game Pass at its like at this height right now, and all the eyes on the platform. This should be the perfect time to bring that game back and put that as an incentive in Game Pass.
Besides game announcement, what about any Game Pass announcements that might go into 2022 and surprise us and get us excited?
Yeah. I mean, they certainly could use that platform. I mean, if you're going to try and sell your service or your paid service to millions of people, and you drop that day that X game that everyone is looking forward to is in Game Pass day and date, that's phenomenal. I think that's a freaking fantastic idea. But let's get Dreadpool's opinion on this. And I think at that point I might have gotten everybody. Fuzz, did I get you on this?
Yes.
Okay, I opened up with you. Before I get to Dreadpool, I got to thank Crazy Lou Gaming, another gentleman that has exploded on the scene. If you're not following him on Twitter, you're doing it wrong. He's a good dude. He is exactly what you want from a community member. He's not into clicks and likes and stuff. He's into talking about gaming and enjoying it. So check him out. He drops an outstanding and very generous $20 super chat and says, yes, we need Xbox to bring back all of those awesome characters. Banjo, Conquer, all of those classics need to come back and new and improved to 100%. I don't know who's going to do it, but somebody needs to bring back Conquer. And I believe that Microsoft is listening. They know that they got to bring Banjo back. They know that they got to bring KI back. They know they have to bring Conquer back. These are classic IPs that need a nice coat of paint. I believe we're going to see it. But Dreadpool, if I give you producing duties at the Game Awards 2021, and I say you're working for Microsoft, you got to put a show together that's going to make people poop their pants. What do you bring to the table?
A Dreadpool game.
No, I don't know if I would poop my pants in a Dreadpool game, but I would definitely play it.
Like what? How did that come from? No. So I mean, first of all, you got to come out on a high, right? We're already here, and you got to put it in perspective, right? What's half the year away? E3.
Yes.
So we need this is a good time of year. I know that there's the issues with the timing, but whatever, right? Besides that, with what we want, right? We want to advertise. You want to be on a high coming out, for the rest of the year until E3. So obviously you want people to be excited for the next 6 months. So
Yep.
This would be a good time for maybe a studio acquisition, maybe even lead something into that, for these new games. Speaking of, one of the never before released games. Give us some sort of little title.
Yes.
Give us some little tidbit of one or two games that they're working on. And I would rather have it just one game, something, you know what I mean? Whether it's Killer Instinct 2, just leave it like that. Just put the words out there.
Hell, if it ain't Killer Instinct, why not say Bloody Roar?
There you go.
My God!
Right?
Yes, Bloody Roar
Still
was
my damn wallet.
Right?
I'll throw my wallet at the damn screen.
Bloody Roar was
Bloody
incredible.
Roar.
I was on PlayStation
Ahead of his time.
1,
Boom.
I think it was. That
PlayStation
was
2, PS2.
PS2. Dude,
Yeah.
If you never played,
I want
Bloody
Turbo
Roar,
number 1.
Yeah.
So, and then you go from there, right? What's going on right now? They've been releasing some information with Starfield. So this would be a good time to have a good trailer, maybe, a little teaser trailer, and then plan it out. Don't give us too much information. Let us see some sort of movement with the trailer. Let's see something a little bit bigger than what they've shown us so far. And then have that the build for your E3 moment to follow up with an extended version of that with more information, more trailer leading into gameplay. But don't do it now. Right. Set it up so that way what you have now goes that way, right? And then you throw out your other games. You want some platformers. We've all been talking about it. Whether it's Banjo and Kazooie, whether it's something else. They've experimented with the the remake of Voodoo Vince. They were talking, they made Blinks, the Time Sweeper cat, whatever, BC. Bring stuff like that back, even if it's a remake, right? A remaster, something like that. Bring it back. Let people re-enjoy some of these old platformers and feel out how that goes, because this is the Christmas time, and you would think this would be a kind of a good time for people to enjoy and be able to like think, oh, well, this would be something for my kids. I can get a console
Indeed.
for my kids, right? So this is kind of, you got to remember, this isn't just for the hardcore people. This is also because it is on TV. It's not like E3 where you have to go to YouTube. Well, I'm sorry, it is on YouTube, but you know what I'm saying. It's one big spot, a collective of all gamers from all different sides of the fighting cosmos that we have, right? But we're all get together in one spot. So we're not going to Ubisoft site. We're not going to Microsoft site. We're not going to PlayStation site. We're not going to Activision site, right? It's all one in one spot. So you're going to have more people in one spot to see this. So the chances are families are going to see this a little bit more often. And because it is getting a bigger and bigger name, it is an award show. People like this stuff. So you get to see this. This is where you want to represent as best as you can. Get some of those family games out there. Get some information out there. Hey, you know what? Remember this game that you used to play back in the day? Well, we're remaking it or remastering it with the better graphics and better controls. Do stuff like that. I mean, how many times have I said, take those old games that were, back in the old Xbox One era, I'm sorry, the OG Xbox and the 360 that had bad controls, bring them up to today's quality of life standards, right? Bring those back. So some of those platformers were very tricky because we needed CRTs. We can't do them as easy on these HD TVs now because of the lag issues.
We're on TCLs now.
Right. So
King David, where are you?
so bring it back, and we can do that, because I'm thinking like Anushima and the controls of the old Resident Evil games, how bad they were. Some of those platformers. I mean, look at how Mario 64 was one of the first ones that actually helped some of the controlling of the 3D platformers, with the camera work. So when you have something like that, bring some of those old games back for these families, so and I know, like I said, it's a yawn fest for a lot of people, but there are those that aren't as hardcore as we are that would love those type of games, that aren't into Halo. They don't want their little Johnny or Jill to be playing Halo like this because it's showing guns and stuff. So some people are a little bit more on the wholesome side. We got to get a variety of games out there. And you know what? Some of these games are a variety of fun. We've said Banjo-Kazooie, right? That's no shooter, no nothing. It's fun platformer, but yet we have a same game that's similar with a story, Conquer, right? So it's a little bit more adult. So you mix that variety out there. Don't just give us one thing and only one thing. That's what gets stale and stagnant, and people forget. You got to remember, you're trying to sell consoles. You're trying to sell the Game Pass service, and as that, you're trying to sell the name Xbox, and it's going to be all of this together. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not one thing in particular. Yeah, I've always said when I look at these shows, I don't go in with any expectations. I try to minimize my expectations, so when I walk away, I can actually enjoy what I watched versus, man, I didn't get to see what this game should have been on there. They should have showed something here. They should have showed some gameplay. And I'm walking away depressed versus walking away hyped, like, you know what? I didn't know that this game was coming out. I saw this. This was cool.
You're 100% right, and I think they have an opportunity. I think the stage has been set for Microsoft to close out 2021 in the biggest way possible. It is at the Microsoft Theater. They do have some controlling stake in what and how they're going to show it. Again, there's a lot of things that came out of Game Awards 2019 that when Phil was up there talking and Keeley was watching, it was about Game Pass. So they kind of held it back. That's the rumor. I don't know how true it is, whether they held it from Jeff or not, because Jeff unfortunately has sometimes loose lips sinks ships, right? That's what they say. And if that would have, think about it though, of that kind of momentum would have been spoiled with someone getting out, oh, they're going to show the Series X. No one in their right mind even thought it. I sat back in my chair completely stunned, right? But listen, folks, great 2 hours of podcasting and game talking for you today. We're gonna grow right into, of course, outros. Before we do, I want to encourage anyone that if you're here, we had over 300 people and here today. If you enjoyed the show, please hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, certainly consider subscribing. We are now 798 subs away from 10K. Yes, we are that close. If you're new, help me get there. I also want to let you know and kind of funnel you towards X Vlog episode number 4 is out. I released that on Wednesday afternoon. Probably my favorite one, my favorite episode as of today. It's a new series that I'm doing, and it's usually one Xbox topic. We get in, we get out. It's 15, 20 minutes. People have been asking for some VOD content, and now you're going to get it every week. Next week, it's all going to be
How
about
do you
Halo.
sleep at night? I gotta know.
I'm up a lot. I'm up late a lot writing these scripts for sure.
No,
but
you
I
have
will
to sleep. No, go to sleep. Damn it.
6 hours is all I need, brother. 6 hours. But listen,
Need
folks,
20. You did 4 days.
thank you so much for being here. Obviously, I want to thank everyone that dropped the super chat. I'm incredibly humbled every time I get one. I know that this is something that's a hobby that I do because I love gaming. I love this community. So when you do drop super chats in there, they are tremendously and greatly appreciated, but also used to power the the giveaway events that my wife and I put together. This year we've had 5 so far, and the big one is going to be the 6th one. That is Christmas with Mr. and Mrs. Boomstick. That is going to be done on a Breakfast with Boom on a Friday morning. I will be giving dates and specific prize details as soon as the next week or so. So look for that. And let's start with BitCloud Gaming, brother. You've been doing some incredible stuff. Obviously, no slouch to the community. You're working with IGN, which is big, and that's all the hard work that you've done for your channel. Please, by all means, sell your brand and tell everyone where they could reach out to you on social media.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, hit that like button. Subscribe to this guy if you have not done so. Let's get him to 10K. Second, thanks for having me. It's good to be back on the show. Yeah, like Boom said, I announced this a couple days ago, but I'm working with IGN. I'm a freelancer.
Yes.
I do gameplay guides and everything with them. So it's a new chapter in my life that kind of started, and YouTube and everything kind of took a big
hiatus. Yeah, you have to. You have to stop.
I haven't uploaded. I haven't done anything. I even deleted videos. I was like, "Yep, I gotta do things a certain way here," and that's what's going on with me and the channel. But I'm planning the big return, hopefully next week, and we'll be back on track and start some stuff. But yeah, you guys want to follow me? It's BitCloud Gaming, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the panel, and hope you guys enjoy your weekend. You be safe out here. Enjoy your games, and y'all be awesome.
Thanks, brother. Definitely appreciate you being there. Mr. Joanna Dark, thank you so much for joining us. I reached out to you late yesterday, and you're like, yeah, sign me up, Boom. I'm all in. Tell everyone where they could reach out to you, and also where could people hear your thoughts on what other podcasts you're on?
Again, thank you so much, Boom, for reaching out. Like I said, I'm always happy to help and support. And again, it was a great time with you gentlemen today. People can find me on Twitter, big_N_boss. And just to kind of make an announcement, now I go under Mr. Joanna Dark. I'm going to be giving away a $25 e-gift card for the gear shop today. So if you kind of go right now and just hit either retweet or like, you can be entered and get a $25 gear shop card. I also am on the Nickel Gaming Show that airs at 6:30 on Fridays, and then in 2022 I will be podcasting with Crazy Lou Gaming and Sour Blow.
Nice.
With XBI, which stands for Xbox International, so I'm excited for that.
And besides that, I'll be playing some games, and I hope everyone else is enjoying them. And then next week, I'm honored to be attending the Game Awards and celebrating with everyone on these awesome announcements and awards.
Yeah, that makes two of
Yeah.
us. And
Are you
Sour
streaming
Blue-
it, Boom? You streaming Game Awards?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to stream. I want to
Yeah,
watch
sure.
it and enjoy it. I think what I'm going to do is Friday's Breakfast with Boom is going to be all about the our opinions on what went
Oh, he's
down.
gonna do a recap.
Yeah, I might do a 1 hour recap show. I got to see what the schedule looks like because I don't want Breakfast with Boom to be eaten by a quick 1 hour thing because that usually we cover that event the day after. So I'm going to the rest of the remainder of this week, which is obviously today's Friday. Over the weekend, I'm going to decide what I want to do with the channel because Halo's next week. It's just there's literally so much going on. I don't know if I can do everything. But let's
shout out to Jeff though. I'm a co-streamer for that. I forgot to announce that. So
oh, nice, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out. That's pretty dope. Who you talking about? Jeff Grubb?
Jeff Killy.
Oh, nice, John. Excellent, brother. Excellent. Good on you for that, bro. That you deserve the work. You put a lot of work into the channel. You deserve all the accolades for sure. Crispy Bomb, by all means, brother. Tell everyone where they can reach out to you on social media, but more importantly, what other shows are you on?
Crispy, you're alive. Wake up.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Shout out to the chat. It's at Crispy Bomb on Twitter, Crispy Bomb 28 Xbox Live. You can find me on the Retro Renegades Tuesday, 7 p.m. The next podcast, 8 p.m. Thursday. Don't know about next week, what we're doing there, but it might be a live stream. I don't know. And then, of course, back here on Breakfast with Boom, Friday, 10 a.m.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for being here, brother. And I'm looking forward to breaking down what the Game Awards are on next week's Breakfast with Boom. That entire show is going to be covering who got snubbed, who won the awards, what big reveals, and are we excited for 2022? Dreadpool, by all means, brother, tell everyone about Breaking Bread with Dread. And also, where can people reach out to you on social media? And what other show, Wilmy Hood, are you on?
Well, thank you for everybody stopping in here. I appreciate our guests for coming in, Fuzzy and Mr. Giannodak. Obviously, the chat, you guys are the most important to us because you guys come here. Otherwise, we'd be just talking to ourselves, that whole thing. But as always, congratulations, Bit. You worked your butt off. A lot of people don't see the stuff behind the scenes, but you didn't just happen to fall into it. You worked it.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
It's awesome to see people that put the work in and get the benefits finally after all that hard work. So it's awesome.
Fun fact, I almost ruined my PC when I got the email. No, I really did. I had like a soda, man. They was like, hey, Ryan, we'd like to work with you. I was like, I dropped my damn soda.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's big. That's big, dude. That's big news. That's
so
big news.
As for Breaking Bread with Dread, I actually had from the original Next Level Podcast Gaming podcast, HTK 360, Peter. So I met up with him and we did we were trying to do the video. I was trying to get it all set. I had everything planned out and everything that could go wrong went wrong. The place didn't have Wi-Fi. It went down, and our Wi-Fi hotspots on both our phones just could not cut it. My laptop would not connect to the microphone. And we're like, we just keep on rolling with the punches. We just keep going, right? We started the audio, and I said, I'll start the video, and I'll just match them up. About 20 minutes in or so, the video went down. My laptop just went black screen and everything. Whatever was going on caused the laptop to just eat up all that power. It killed the battery. And I should have had over 2 hours with the battery. So it was fun. I managed to get the audio, so it's up on Anchor.
Okay, excellent.
I managed to salvage some of the video. However, the video ended up being like 3 or 4 stills. Out of all that video, it's only 3 or 4 stills.
That's awful.
So yeah, it was disappointing, but I will eventually get it back on there and fix the video portion. I'll add those topics we were talking about, but definitely check it out. He was a great guest.
Nice.
He spent time away from his family on vacation to come out here and do this. So I definitely appreciated him and his time. And then later on that same night, I went on Axel 1324's podcast. We did a mukbang.
Oh, nice.
So that was a nice little festive one. So you should definitely check that one out. That was definitely a fun one with everybody having their own versions of what we were doing, and it was a great show. But for tonight, I will be on GRG with K Mega 405.
Nice,
9 p.m.
nice. It's a great show. That's a
So,
great
yeah,
show.
definitely.
A little bit later for me because they're West Coast, but yeah, that's a great show.
It's 9 p.m. Eastern, so
Yeah.
it's not too late for you.
No, it's not too
You're
late.
not that old of a man, not yet.
I can't be in the chat because that's Mrs. Boomstick time. Anytime in the evening, that's all Mrs. Boomstick. Whether we're playing Animal Crossing, something else, or we are watching a movie.
Yeah.
But looking
Boom
forward
takes
to that.
that
Dread.
night cool at 9. That's what happened. I see what's going on,
Dude.
Boom.
I used to be able to stay 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like a 10:30 kind of a guy now.
He takes that night cool. He goes to sleep. That's all it is.
It's not good. But real quick, finally, and not least by any stretch of the truth,
one more
Fuzzy
thing.
Belvedere. Oh yeah, go ahead, brother.
One more thing. You can find me at linktree.com/dreadpool.
Nice.
All
your information's in the once this uploads, everyone's information. You want to follow everybody.
Dread.
I'm sorry.
You forgot Gaming Beyond the Box, right? Aren't you on that still?
Yeah, I'm on that. That's on my Linktree too.
Yeah.
Oh.
I took up too much time. I didn't want to take up too much more.
No. It's all right. Listen, this is a conversational podcast, but we appreciate you're here, Dread, and we appreciate your opinion and love the work that you are doing. Fuzzy Belvedere, tell everyone what multitude of podcasts you're on, and also where can people reach out to you and check out not only your YouTube channel, but strike up a conversation with you on social media.
Well, Boom, I want to thank you for inviting me on. It was awesome being on here. Chat was always on fire, so I greatly appreciate everybody that came out to watch, and the panel. Man, you guys are awesome. Just love hearing your guys' view on things, and congrats, Bit, to your working with IGN. That is awesome. I love seeing that. That is awesome.
It's great to see the little guy, the little engine win, right?
Yeah.
And podcasting in such a vast pool as YouTube is, and the talent is limitless. To see our peers start getting the accolades that I believe that they deserve is very exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. For those that want to hear my ramblings on Forza, you can find me on Twitter at @fuzzy_Belvedere. For podcasts on Saturdays, you can find me on Fun Speculation Podcast, FSP Podcast, on Mav Fun Speculations channel at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And then later that night, you can catch me on the Shop Podcast with PTK Blam, Pong Soul, and Centurion 1307 at, I believe that's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because Arizona time is a little different with the time change.
Mm-hmm.
And on Mondays, you can find me working with Mav on the Tidbits, which is their game release of the week show, just giving you the highlights of any gems that may have flown under the radar for games you should probably pick up for that week and stuff. But awesome being here. Thank you guys so much, man. I can't wait to get back to Forza, and man, the big dog next week, Halo. It's I don't think anybody's going to be on social media then.
No, absolutely. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here, brother. Definitely appreciate that. Everyone has completely knocked it out of the park, and I want to thank everyone that was here. Again, over 300 people. If you enjoyed today's show, please hit the like button. If you're new and you enjoyed the banter, consider subscribing to the channel, and of course, we're going to see you back here next Friday, where it's going to be Game Awards talk, the entire episode. We're going to be talking about who got snubbed, who won the big one, who surprised us, and what were the big game reveals or new game reveals, or however they say it. I can't wait. And of course,
World
next
premiere.
week, folks, there it is. World premiere. There you go. I can't wait. Next week is Halo Infinite Multiplayer, officially out. And of course, for me, the most important of that is the single player campaign, which is getting incredible buzz. And of course, I'm going to close out the show with something that is important to me. Hopefully one day will be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught me with kids. And I think now more than ever, it's ultra important. He said, son, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, and I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So have a great weekend. Enjoy gaming, and we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom.